Maya Sharma adjusted her telescope, focused on the Andromeda galaxy. The observatory's isolation in the New Mexico desert suited her perfectly, just her, the stars, and blessed silence. As an astrophysicist who preferred solitude to crowds, this remote posting was ideal. "Come on, show me your secrets," she whispered, making minute adjustments to the equipment. The streak of purple light cutting across the night sky wasn't part of her observation plans. Maya's breath caught as the object blazed overhead, far too close and moving too erratically to be a meteor. "What the?" she gasped. Grabbing her jacket and rushing outside, the ground trembled beneath her feet as the object crashed beyond the nearby ridge. Dust and smoke billowed into the star-filled sky. Maya hesitated only briefly before jumping into her jeep. 20 minutes of rough driving brought her to a small crater. Steam rose from the scorched earth, and at its center sat a sleek, pod-shaped vessel, unlike anything human-made. "Hello?" Maya called out, approaching cautiously. "Is anyone there?" A section of the vessel slid open with a soft hiss. Maya froze, heart hammering against her ribs. A slender figure emerged, staggering slightly. Maya's scientific mind cataloged details automatically. Humanoid, female, approximately 5 feet 9, and unmistakably alien. Her skin was a soft lavender color that seemed to shimmer faintly in the moonlight. Long, silver-streaked hair fell past her shoulders, and her eyes, large, almond-shaped, and a striking violet color, fixed on Maya with clear intelligence. "Help," the alien woman said in perfect English. Before collapsing, Maya rushed forward without thinking, catching the stranger before she hit the ground. Despite her otherworldly appearance, she felt warm and solid in Maya's arms, surprisingly human. Back at the observatory, Maya placed the unconscious visitor on her couch. Up close, the alien woman was even more remarkable. The purple tone of her skin had subtle variations, darker along her jawline and cheekbones. She wore a form-fitting garment that seemed to shift colors like oil on water. Maya dabbed a damp cloth on the alien's forehead. "Who are you?" she whispered, not expecting an answer. "I am Lyra," came the unexpected reply, as violet eyes fluttered open. "Princess of the Stellarist Dominion." Maya nearly dropped the cloth. "You speak English?" "I speak many languages," Lyra replied, sitting up cautiously. "My people are skilled linguists. We learn quickly." "Your people," Maya repeated, trying to wrap her mind around the reality facing her. "You're actually from another planet?" Lyra nodded solemnly. "I've traveled far to escape those who destroyed my home. They must not find me." "Who?" Maya asked, suddenly aware of how vulnerable they were in the isolated observatory. "The Dracorians," Lyra explained, her voice hardening. "They attacked without warning, conquered our outer colonies. I escaped when our palace fell." Her eyes clouded with pain. "I've been hiding for 20 Earth years, moving between worlds. But they're still hunting me. Why would they?" A distant rumble interrupted Maya's question. Lyra stiffened, moving to the window with surprising grace. "We need to leave," she said urgently. "Now what?" "I can't just..." "Please," Lyra's eyes locked with Maya's. "That sound? It's a Dracorian scout ship. If they find me here, they'll destroy everything, including you." Maya looked around at her life's work, the research station that had been her sanctuary. Then she looked at the alien princess, whose pleading eyes somehow felt more familiar than they should. "My jeep's outside," Maya said decisively. "Pack whatever you need. We leave in 5 minutes." As they drove away under the cover of darkness, Maya glanced at her purple-skinned passenger and wondered what kind of cosmic joke had turned her quiet life of scientific observation into this. Whatever was coming, nothing would ever be the same again. The desert highway stretched before them, moonlight casting long shadows across the sand. Maya's knuckles were white on the steering wheel as she glanced at her unusual passenger. "You said you've been hiding for 20 years, Maya said, breaking the tense silence. "But you look... young?" Lyra finished with a slight smile. "My people age differently than humans. I was barely an adult when I fled my homeworld. To you, I might appear to be in my 30s. Maya nodded, processing this information. "And these Dracorians? Why are they still hunting you after all this time? Lyra gazed out at the stars, her purple skin gleaming softly in the dashboard lights. I carry something they want desperately. Something that could rebuild my civilization or destroy theirs. She reached beneath her collar and withdrew a small crystal pendant that pulsed with inner light. This contains the complete genetic archives of my people and the coordinates to our secret colony worlds. The Dracorians wiped out most of our kind, but with this, we could recover. Maya stared at the pendant, momentarily distracted. The jeep swerved, and she quickly corrected their course. Sorry. So, you're not just any princess, you're carrying the future of your entire species. A responsibility I never asked for, Lyra said softly. My mother, Queen Elenia, placed this around my neck moments before putting me in the escape pod. I watched our palace crumble from orbit. Maya's heart ached for the alien woman. Despite her exotic appearance, Lyra's pain was profoundly human. Where are we going? Lyra asked. My friend Raj has a cabin in the mountains. We'll be safe there while we figure out our next move. As dawn broke over the mountains, they arrived at a rustic cabin nestled among pine trees. Raj, an old colleague from Maya's university days, greeted them with surprise, but asked no questions when Maya requested discretion. Guest room's all yours, he said, eyeing Lyra with undisguised curiosity. I'll be in town for a few days. Whatever you're mixed up in, Maya, be careful. After Raj left, Maya helped Lyra settle in. The princess explored the cabin with childlike fascination, running her hands over the wooden furniture and examining household objects. Your planet has such beautiful textures, she remarked. Tracing the grain of the wooden table, you've been hiding on Earth for decades but haven't experienced much of it? Maya asked. Lyra shook her head. I've been in stasis most of that time, orbiting your solar system in my ship. I only awakened when my systems detected Dracarine energy signatures entering your atmosphere. That evening, as they sat before the fireplace, Maya found herself studying Lyra's features. The alien princess moved with a natural grace that seemed otherworldly. Yet there was something surprisingly familiar in her expressions. You said you visited other worlds, Maya prompted. What are they like? Lyra's face lit up as she described crystalline cities and gas giant colonies. Worlds where multiple suns painted the skies in perpetual sunset. And deep space habitats where her people had adapted to zero gravity. As the night deepened, her conversation grew more personal. Maya shared her own story, her childhood fascination with stars, her academic struggles, and her choice of isolation over connection. You choose solitude, Lyra observed. I had it forced upon me. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Impulsively, Maya reached out, her fingers brushing against Lyra's. The princess didn't pull away. Instead, she interlaced her fingers with Maya's, their different skin tones, tanned against lavender, creating a striking contrast. Your touch, Lyra whispered. It feels like home. Maya's heart raced. Before she could respond, a distant sound broke the moment, the unmistakable whine of aircraft. Too close and too late at night to be routine. Lyra tensed. They found us. They fled into the forest behind the cabin, guided only by moonlight, filtering through the trees. The sound of engines grew louder as black helicopters circled overhead, searchlights cutting through the darkness. Are those your Dracorians? Maya gasped between breaths. No, Lyra replied, moving with surprising agility over the rough terrain. Your government? I think the Dracorians wouldn't announce themselves so openly. Maya hadn't considered that Earth authorities might be tracking them too. Of course, an alien spacecraft wouldn't go unnoticed. They reached a small stream, and Lyra pulled Maya behind a fallen tree. They huddled together, breath fogging in the cool mountain air. The helicopters passed overhead, searchlights scanning the forest, then gradually faded into the distance. How did they find us so quickly? Maya whispered. My ship's energy signature, Lyra explained. And possibly yours as well. Mine. Lyra gestured to Maya's body. When I touched you, Some of my bioluminescent cells transferred to your skin. It's subtle. Their sensors might detect it. Maya examined her hands in the moonlight and noticed a faint purple shimmer where Lyra had touched her. Under different circumstances, she might have found it fascinating. We need transportation, Lyra said decisively, and I need to contact my people's resistance network. There's a town about 5 miles east, Maya suggested, but we'll be exposed. Lyra touched her pendant thoughtfully. I can help with that. She closed her eyes in concentration. The crystal glowed brighter, and Maya felt a tingling sensation wash over her skin. When she looked down at her hands, they appeared normal. Perception filter, Lyra explained. It won't fool machines, but human eyes will see what they expect to see. By dawn, they had reached the small town of Pine Ridge. Using the last of Maya's cash, they purchased bus tickets to Denver. As they sat in the back of the bus, Maya noticed how Lyra kept her hood pulled low, her eyes constantly scanning their surroundings. You've been running a long time, Maya observed quietly. Too long, Lyra admitted. Sometimes I forget what it feels like to be still. In Denver, they found a modest motel on the outskirts of the city. As Maya showered, washing away dirt from their forest escape, she contemplated the surreal turn her life had taken. 4 days ago, her biggest concern had been securing funding for her research. Now she was harboring an alien princess with the fate of an entire civilization hanging in the balance. When she emerged from the bathroom, she found Lyra standing by the window, staring at the city lights. The alien princess had removed her outer garments, revealing the form-fitting bodysuit beneath. The material seemed to shimmer, adapting to the room's lighting. What happens if they catch you? Maya asked, sitting on the edge of the bed. Lyra turned, her expression somber. They'll take the crystal and destroy me. With it, they can locate our remaining colonies and finish what they started decades ago. And if we succeed, if you reconnect with your resistance, then perhaps my people have a future. Lyra moved to sit beside Maya, their shoulders touching. You've risked everything to help me, a stranger from another world. Not such a stranger anymore, Maya replied softly. Lyra's hand found Maya's, their fingers intertwining naturally. On my world, there's a belief that sometimes souls recognize each other across time and space. Soul recognition, Maya whispered. We have similar concepts on Earth. Their faces drew closer, the air between them charged with unspoken feelings. Lyra's violet eyes held questions and desires that transcended their different origins. When their lips finally met, it felt like the collision of stars, a gentle explosion of warmth and light. Maya's hands traced the contours of Lyra's face. Marveling at the silken texture of her purple skin, I never expected to find connection so far from home. Lyra breathed against Maya's lips. Their moment of intimacy was shattered by a loud bang at the door. Open up! Federal agents. Maya's eyes widened in panic as Lyra pulled her to her feet. The bathroom window, Lyra whispered urgently. Now. As they scrambled toward their escape route, Maya realized that their journey and whatever was blossoming between them was far from over. The chase was only beginning. Dawn broke over the city as Maya and Lyra squeezed through the narrow bathroom window, dropping into the alley behind the motel. The sound of boots and shouting voices spurred them forward. This way? Lyra whispered. Pulling Maya toward a crowded farmer's market, they weaved through morning shoppers. The perception filter, allowing them to blend in despite Lyra's alien appearance. To casual observers, she appeared as an ordinary woman with pale skin and dark hair. We need transportation and a destination, Maya said as they paused behind a fruit stand. Lyra touched her crystal pendant, which pulsed with an inner light. I'm sensing something. A beacon activated by my presence. Her violet eyes widened. Maya, there's an ancient Stellaris outpost on this planet. What? Where the coordinates suggest. Your Arctic region. It must have been established during our exploration age thousands of years ago. Maya processed this revelation. That explains the ancient astronaut theories. Your people visited Earth before. We visited many worlds, Lyra confirmed. This outpost could have communication equipment to contact the resistance. Perhaps even a portal gateway. Their immediate problem was reaching the Arctic. With government agents hunting them and limited resources, crossing international borders seemed impossible. Fortune smiled upon them in the form of Dr. Elias Jensen, a climate researcher Maya recognized from a scientific conference. He was in Denver preparing for an expedition to study Arctic ice melt. Dr. Jensen, Maya called, approaching his booth where he displayed climate data. The older scientist squinted, then broke into a smile. Dr. Sharma, what a surprise. I thought you never left that observatory of yours. After explaining they needed to join his expedition with a carefully edited version of their circumstances, Jensen agreed to add them to his team. Lyra's perception filter helped, and Maya's legitimate scientific credentials did the rest. 3 days later, they were aboard a research vessel heading into Arctic waters. The ship's cramped quarters forced them to share a small cabin, creating an intimacy neither had anticipated. "Your oceans are beautiful," Lyra remarked one night, watching the midnight sun glimmer on the water through their porthole. On Stellaris, our seas were silver blue and luminescent at night. Maya, sitting beside her on the narrow bunk, noticed the sorrow in Lyra's voice. "You miss it. Every day," Lyra admitted. "But finding you, it's given me something I haven't felt in decades. Hope." "Connection," Lyra corrected, turning to face Maya. Her hand traced the curve of Maya's cheek. "I've been alone so long, I forgot what it feels like to trust someone that night." Their bodies found each other in the darkness of their cabin. Maya discovered that Lyra's skin glowed faintly where touched, creating constellations of light between them as they explored each other. Their connection transcended physical differences, becoming a bridge between their worlds. After a week at sea, they reached their destination, a remote peninsula jutting into frigid waters. Jensen's team was focused on the glaciers, giving Maya and Lyra the perfect cover to slip away during an expedition. "The signal is stronger here," Lyra said, consulting her pendant as they trudged through snow. "It's beneath us." They discovered the entrance hidden within an ice cave, a doorway marked with symbols identical to those on Lyra's pendant. When she placed the crystal against the door, ancient mechanisms whirred to life. The door slid open, revealing a passage that descended deep into the earth. As they ventured inside, lights activated automatically, illuminating a vast chamber unlike anything Maya had imagined. The Stellaris outpost was a marvel of alien architecture, organic shapes flowing seamlessly into technological components, all preserved in perfect condition despite thousands of years of dormancy. "It's beautiful," Maya breathed, watching as the facility responded to Lyra's presence, systems reactivating throughout the complex. "It's more than that," Lyra said, approaching a central console. "It's salvation." As her hands danced across alien controls, a holographic display erupted before them, a galactic map showing pulsing lights that represented surviving Stellaris colonies. "They're alive," Lyra whispered, tears streaming down her purple cheeks. "More of my people survived than I dared hope." Maya embraced her from behind, sharing in her joy. But their celebration was cut short as alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. "What's happening?" Maya asked. Lyra's expression transformed from joy to horror as she examined the console. The outpost's activation sent out a signal. "The Dracorians have detected it." She turned to Maya, eyes wide with fear. "They're coming here now." The facility trembled as something massive descended from the sky. Through the outpost's monitoring system, they watched a Dracorian warship materialize above the ice field, a dark, angular monstrosity that dwarfed the research vessel in the distance. "Your colleagues?" Lyra said urgently. "The ship will target them first." Maya activated the outpost's communication system, warning Jensen to evacuate immediately. Whether he believed her outlandish story or simply responded to the panic in her voice, the research team began boarding their emergency vessels. "We need to activate the portal," Lyra said, fingers flying across the alien console. "I can send a distress signal to the Resistance simultaneously." "How long will that take?" "Minutes. But the Dracorians will breach the outpost before then." Maya examined the weapons cache the outpost's automated systems had revealed. Show me how to use these. I'll buy you time. Lyra hesitated, then quickly explained the function of several devices. This generates an energy shield. This disrupts their neural patterns. It won't kill, but will disorient. This, she pointed to a larger device, is a last resort. It creates a localized implosion. They shared one desperate kiss before separating Lyra to the portal controls. Maya, to defend the entrance. The first Dracorians that breached the outpost weren't what Maya expected. Rather than the monstrous creatures of science fiction, they were elegant, almost beautiful beings with crystalline skin and eyes like black holes. Their weapons, however, were unmistakably deadly. Maya activated the shield just as they fired, the energy blast dissipating against the barrier. She countered with the neural disruptor, watching with satisfaction as 3 Dracorians collapsed. More replaced them immediately. Hurry. She called to Lyra, the shield weakening with each impact. Almost there. Lyra responded, her hands moving in a blur across the controls. The portal frame began to glow, energy coalescing within its center. A blast penetrated the failing shield, grazing Maya's arm. She cried out, dropping to one knee, but maintaining her position. Maya. Lyra's anguished voice cut through the chaos. Keep going. Maya gritted through the pain, firing the disruptor with her good arm. The portal stabilized, showing a glimpse of another world, crystalline spires rising beneath 3 moons. Simultaneously, a holographic message appeared, showing Stellaris resistance fighters acknowledging the signal. Help was coming, but not soon enough. More Dracorians poured into the chamber as Maya's strength waned. The shield collapsed entirely. In that moment, Lyra made her decision. Maya, she called. Come with me. Maya stared at the portal at the alien world beyond. Your people need me alive, Lyra finished, reaching for her. But I need you. A Dracorian commander entered the chamber, taller than the others. With armor that seemed to absorb light, he fixed his void-like eyes on Lyra. Princess Lyra, he intoned, voice like grinding stones. The chase ends. Give us the crystal, and your death will be painless. Lyra stood tall, her purple skin glowing with defiance. Never vex her. My people will rise again. The commander raised his weapon. Maya, seeing his intention, made her own choice. She grabbed the implosion device, activated it, and hurled it at the Dracorians. Grabbing Lyra's hand, she pulled them both toward the portal. Now, she shouted. They leapt through the shimmering gateway as the implosion device detonated. The outpost collapsed behind them, sealing the portal and burying the Dracorian force under thousands of tons of ice and stone. They landed hard on crystalline soil, the 3 moons of Lyra's refuge colony, illuminating their arrival. Resistance fighters surrounded them immediately, weapons raised until they recognized their princess. Cries of joy and disbelief erupted as Lyra stood, still holding Maya's hand. My people, she announced, voice ringing with authority, I have returned. And I bring with me the archives of our civilization and a hero of Earth who helped save our future. That night, as healers tended Maya's wound with technology beyond human understanding, Lyra sat beside her, their fingers intertwined. Are you okay? Lyra asked softly. You've left your world behind. Maya looked up at the alien sky, then back at the purple-skinned woman who had crashed into her life and changed everything. I'm an astronomer, she replied with a smile. I've always wanted to touch the stars. I just never imagined they'd reach back and touch me first. Lyra leaned down, her lips meeting Maya's in a kiss that bridged galaxies. The war isn't over, Lyra warned when they parted. The Dracorians will regroup, then we'll face them together, Maya answered. Between 2 worlds, we'll find a way. As the triple moons of their new home cast silver light across their entwined figures, Maya realized that some journeys weren't about destination, but transformation. She had crossed the gulf between worlds, not just physically, but emotionally, finding in an alien princess the connection she'd never found on Earth, and somewhere in the vast cosmos. Their story of a human and an alien princess who found each other across the stars was just beginning.